So I've not put out more content. I've put like 2 or 3 pieces out, and that was pretty much it because I ran out of ideas. Not really. I just did not feel confident about any of the ideas I had after that. So this is me just getting used to talking in front of a camera. I think that what I realized about myself is I'm not good at long. I'm not good at short-term content. It's just never gonna be me. I'm a long-winded, talkative person. It's literally why I want to be an author. Because I had just like a shit ton to say. 3 minute, a 60-second video is just never gonna be long enough. I think I need to work within my strengths and just test this out, find out what works for me, not try to force myself to do something just because it's trendy. If I try to work outside my specialty in the early days, I think I'm just going to be disappointed in myself. I think I'm just going to get frustrated that something that is not good for me and I don't have a skill in. Well, is that a cop out? I think it's like you kind of have to start from a place of at least moderate interest. And for me, like with writing, I'm like, fucking fantasy. Let's go. Let's do this shit. And so it was really easy for me to start like, I'm going to world build. Okay, cool. I have a second draft, a third draft. I'm just finished my beta reader phase. Got great feedback. Thank you, beta readers. And now I'm starting my fourth draft. Like, don't get me wrong, parts of that are intimidating, which will be a whole other video for a whole different time. But I think like the parts of it that don't intimidate me, the parts that make perfect sense to me is like, it's long form. I'm going to have to work at this. It's going to take hours of my time and I'm going to need to immerse myself in it because that's my chosen my chosen medium, my chosen interest, my chosen genre. Hi, do you want to come up and say hi? Come on. See her do yours is so cute. Do not expose your butt on video. Rude. Yeah, my thought process here. I am good at doing hard, difficult things, but it has to start from a place of moderate interest. Otherwise, I won't have any traction. There will be no grip for me to hold on to. And that's kind of how I feel about content. When I try to force fit myself into this really small, tiny little box of a medium, I just get frustrated and irritated, and I don't feel like I have the space to be authentic in myself. If I'm just gonna completely start from scratch here and try to do something that feels real to me and reach an audience, see, but I'm also a marketer, and I know that like you can't just be yourself and expect people to find you. You have to present something. You have to offer them something. You have to give them something that they're interested in, something that they want. And at this point, with no audience, you have no reason to be invested in my story and in me. That would only come with time. So that is the value of a trend. That is the value of tapping into a pre-existing template and formula so that people can latch onto it and discover you. I don't feel currently capable of working within that model, and it's just gonna have to happen when it happens, and that's gonna be the value of it. Is just fucking starting, because I could put it off forever if I just have to sit in the discomfort and the lack of skill that I have, or I could start putting out something that's far less than perfect, and I'm gonna get better as I do. See, that took me so long to get there. That was so fucking long-winded, and that's why I'm not great with short-form content. Yeah, so I have a couple ideas of things that I could do if I wanted to create sort of like a series or a trend of sorts. They're like adjacent to my writing, so it still feels like I'm doing this with purpose and with reason. So the first one was the series that I already started to create, which is the Curator series, which I lost wind there. I clearly had an idea, I kind of tried to execute it, and it didn't fit or it didn't feel right. Or I lost motivation, I don't know. But I like the idea that because I consider myself a Renaissance woman. I like so many things and I might as well share them because isn't that the whole point of the internet is that you can find people and you'll be like, oh my god, they're into something that I didn't even know about, but I trust their taste. They are also interested in things that I'm interested in. So let me read the book series that she's also reading. Let me listen to the music she's listening to. Let me give that movie a try because she also liked it. So another idea. I'm doing all this for the first time. God, I gotta learn to breathe. Oh, so much calmer. Because I am an aspiring author, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And I've spent so much time reading blogs, articles, not ironically not a lot of books. I stay 90% of the time in the fiction world, maybe even 95% of the time. So haven't read any like how to become an author's books. If there are any that you think are worth it, drop them down in the comments, I guess. I don't know. Sure, I'll probably not check them out, but send me an article and a summary of a book and I'll probably read that. When I read, I want to sink into a world. I want to like exit this world. I don't really want to focus a lot on like becoming a better version of myself. I do that shit all the time. Been in therapy for a really long time, uh, always seeking out mental health information. Long form literature is just not my preferred method. It's nice and warm. Mm. What was I saying? So I've done a lot of reading, research. That's bullshit. People misuse that word all the time. Did not do like literal research. I've Googled shit. But I've Googled shit to figure out how to do this. And I've used AI, not for my writing, but to figure out, hey AI, how do I go about this process as someone who's never done it before? Where do I look for agents? How do I know the order and phase in which to do things? Because for a really long time, I thought I needed to get an editor before I got an agent. And through AI and Googling, just to verify, a lot of content was like, no, you're a first time author. Edit your book like so much until it's as perfect as you could possibly get it, and then seek out agents. Again, just a really long winded way of me saying that I'm doing all these steps and I'm thinking, if I'm doing all these steps for the first time and I'm even like discovering the steps that I need to take, the tasks that I need to mark on a to-do list, could there be like a to-do list series where I take you along with me and show you these tasks and kind of say, hey, this is what I run into. This is what it looked like when I went to make an author website. This is what it looked like when I went to research agents. These are the websites I went to, how I documented all the information, how I documented who I was interested in versus when they were accepting submissions versus when they weren't. Honestly, the answer for probably most of it is Excel sheets. Kind of weird looking at myself. I don't know how creators do this so much. Maybe I'll just do a whole bunch of videos of me staring off to the side. Can you tell I have a theme? I love green and pink. Oh, kind of my outfit too. Aw, cute. Anyways, we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'm the only one that will ever watch this. And that's totally fine. It's documenting the journey. It's documenting my thoughts. I think there's value in that. There's value in creating stuff not for consumption, but for production. And honestly, I feel that way about most things I create. I don't know if I would consider this art. Maybe if I do it for a really long time and I create a bit of a formula and a bit of vulnerability, and I infuse some creativity into it, maybe then I'll start to feel more like it's art. Right now, that just feels like I'm having a conversation with myself. A lot of the art I create, because I love to paint, clearly. I love to write. I love decor in my home. I love poetry. I love to write poetry. All these things that I do because I find satisfaction in the process of the creation. And really, I'm totally fine if no one ever consumes them. Well, I don't know if that's true. I think I'm fine if they're consumed just by like my inner circle. I think that for me is satisfaction enough. And I think that there's ambition and wanting to have a wider, broader audience. I think there's definitely a level of ambition in me wanting to be a published author one day. But I've really I felt predetermined throughout because I've been working on this book for the last 2 years. And I have felt for a really long time that like I have to be satisfied no matter what happens. If this book is never published, it still has to have been worth my time. Because I can't control certain things. Some things are just outside my control. I can't control publishing houses. I can't control if someone accepts me as a client. But what I can control is the thing I create, and I can enjoy that. I'm still gaining so much about it. I'm gaining the process of the creation. I'm gaining the enjoyment out of the finished product. And then ultimately, I'm gaining the skill. So I do hope to be a published author one day. And even if it's not this book, even if this series in particular is never published, I still will gain so much by making it in the first place. I will have improved upon my skill set so that I could be ready for the next series. So I find a lot of value in that. I think the only thing where it's probably not true is I love to cook and bake. And God, I think I'd be really upset if I produce that and no one consumed that. I'm like, it's literally the fucking point. So the whole like being a consumer of my own production is great, except for in the kitchen. And then I want someone else to just give me all the praise so I can have the great dopamine and I can be like, yes, you love my cookies. Okay. Great place to end.